Death. Loss of a loved one. Death of a parent. Death of a child. Loss of a pet. Divorce. End to a meaningful and close relationship. Diagnosed with a severe illness. Loved ones being diagnosed with a severe illness. Failing an important examination. Failing to secure the promotion you worked so hard.
Hey everyone! Today we will be talking about a very familiar topic, one in which I'm sure all of us have experienced at one point of our lives. Let's talk about grief. Grief is a process. It is not a task. Grief can be hard and lonely, and sometimes it feels like a journey that never ends. Grief is feeling depressed, lonely, foggy, and numb. Grief, some describe as heartbroken, while others mind-broken or even brain-broken. Grief is an extremely emotional, complex journey. The effect of grief is twofold. Initially, the acute, immediate pain of the lost, and subsequently, the months afterwards, as an individual continues to mourn.
The famous Elizabeth Kubler-Ross model of grief divided grief into 5 stages: denial, anger, bargain, depression, and finally, the phase of acceptance. In the denial phase, the individual is in denial and chooses to believe that whatever that has already happened is unreal. In the anger stage, the individual feels angry and blames themselves and everyone around them for the tragic incident that has occurred. In the bargain phase, the affected individual bargains with God or whoever is in power to change their circumstances or fate. In depression, the individual goes through a phase of low mood, decreased energy, disturbances in sleep and appetite, as well as feelings of hopelessness. An individual goes through these phases before they finally come to the phase of acceptance. Nevertheless, despite this model being readily available, we have got to constantly remind ourselves that grief is never a linear process. Grief is experienced differently by everyone. Therefore, focus on your healing at the present moment without worrying about the next stage.
So what is our role? Most of the time, we do not know what to do or what our role is when someone we love is in pain. We more often than not try to cheer the person up, thinking that that is our responsibility and that is what we have to do when someone is in pain. However, we have to realize that we cannot heal someone by taking away his pain. Grieving is a process, and one has to go through the process of grieving in order to fully recover. What one needs when he is grieving is good and strong support from people around him. Things we can do to help with the grieving process. Acknowledgement. In order to support others, we need to learn how to acknowledge their emotions, their feelings, and what they have gone through. Being able to validate someone's emotions, to say that it hurts without even speaking about the incident actually really helps. We need to learn how to give the person adequate time to heal from their grief and pain. We also need to learn how to stay in pain with the person without jumping into conclusions and cheering them up. Companionship. Many a times, it is all right to just remain silent. People need someone to be there for them, someone present and there for them during their times of needs. You may be a friend, a colleague, a classmate, a family member. They just need someone to be there for them. What people need is the physical and emotional support. Talk and listen. Talk to the person only when he or she is ready to open up and share about his grief. Most importantly, listen actively when the person is speaking to you. Try not to use phrases like, "Everything happens for a reason," or "Look on the bright side, everything will be okay." Perhaps it will be more helpful if we support others by using phrases like, "You look sad. What can I do to help you?" Or, "You look worried. What's on your mind? Would you like to tell me about it?" Art therapy and writing a journal. It may also be helpful if we can put down our emotions into art and painting, or describe our emotions by writing on a piece of paper. This way, we are able to frame, dissect, and come to terms with our emotions. And this would in turn help in the journey towards our recovery. Besides these, focusing on spirituality as well as exercising may also be helpful. It is important for us to know when to seek professional help, especially when the grief persists for a prolonged duration or when one feels extremely depressed, associated with disturbances in daily function, as well as having thoughts of suicide and self-harm. If all these happens, it is advisable to seek professional help. Once the individual is ready to open up and share about their emotions and distress, talk therapy has been scientifically proven to assist them in their journey towards recovery. Talk therapy can come in different forms: grief counseling, cognitive behavioral therapy, as well as grief group therapy. Talk therapy can help you identify and work with your negative thoughts and feelings and make positive changes. Here in Sentosa Hospital Kuching, we do provide psychological and psychiatric help if you need them. Do contact the numbers or links over here if you need help from us.
Grief is the last act of love we can give to those we loved. Where there is deep grief, there was great love. Grief never ends, but it changes. It's a passage, not a place to stay. Grief is not a sign of weakness, nor a lack of faith. Grief is the price of love.